Okay, so I jumped on a particular comment section somewhere in on the net, and I saw that people were having conversation that the credit for the development in sports in Edo State should be offered to Comrade, Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu, whether it's former or current deputy governor, none of the, it doesn't matter now, other than the sitting governor. And then it begs the question, where in Nigeria has any deputy governor taken particular commendation for a development or an undevelopment of any sector of the economy or the state? So it's funny. And these are being perpetrated by some very, I don't know whether I call you ignorant or devilish. As much as I am not going to sit here and say the government of Governor Obaseki had 100% delivery, right? I'm not going to accept that. There were quite very laudable improvements in very many areas. We're hearing, according to the transition committee report, there are over 370. There is an over 370% increase in the internally generated revenue of the state. Massive. That's massive. However, what we cannot, it bothers me to see that some of us are, because we just do not like the governor's face, we would rather. So who are we going to blame? We say that the governor did not fix roads, so who should we blame? So Obaseki gets the blame for not fixing roads, even if he had a few things done right, or he has some things done right in proper context. But then the deputy governor should be given the salutation for being and then he used this money, right? You know what you have not, what we should agree is that Governor Obaseki will go down in history, irrespective of what happened at the tail end of his government with the deputy governor, as the most liberal governor in the history of this country that permitted his deputy governor to have access to leadership indeed. There were several things. I remember the National Sports Festival that Edo State hosted. At least I was a bit far, but I followed up proceedings and I saw that the deputy governor was almost in charge, including fixing people into several offices, several people in the committee, several works. He made a lot of decisions by himself because the governor stayed back to an extent. I allowed him to do the things that he loves to do. Gave him free hand. None of these that he spent his money on. I'm not sure there is none of them that he spent his money to even attract the investors that invested in them. Sterling Bank, for example, Sterling Bank that sponsored better insurance right from the division up or to the Premier League to continental competition was being managed at that time, right? Was being led, was being marshaled, was being shepherded by Asun Ighodalo, the PDP Guba candidate for the Edo 2024 election. Yet, it is Shaibu, the clown, that should be given the glory for what happened this morning. And then sometimes it makes me sick to see how well we have reduced ourselves to kindergarten conversation. Edo people, one of the most intelligential states in Nigeria. We have now ridiculed ourselves because we want to sell political propaganda and narratives. I don't have a problem with your definition of what Obaseki did in the state. I have given him my credit. I have also discredited him where I need to discredit him. But to sit here and see some comments, it bothers me to say, are we this bad? Shaibu should be accountable for what happened in the sports sector. Obaseki should be disciplined, should be reprimanded for what happened in the road sector. Ozuo, Ode, Ewe, Ewobi, and some of you are the one putting, and that's how you make leadership. Guess what? What we have done, and we have set the standard for Bewolo, and then it's Idausa. I don't know how long their government is going to last. I don't even trust that anything is going to happen in the court. But I'm made to believe that there are several. They have been fact every year. God. Net. Okay, let's leave that. I'm made to believe that there is hope for Asun Ighodalo in court to prove in his case. However, I look at the cruise of this matter, or the cross of this matter, and I say, how are we this barbaric? Because it's just a way of saying when you want to kill a dog, you give it a bad name. You just give it a bad name so you can permeate it totally. That's the point. Because if not that, why would you say the deputy governor of Shaibu was the person that did all the magic in the sports sector? What did he do? It is on record that the liberalness of Godwin Obaseki, he may have been a fighter throughout his government, trying to place people where he belongs so that he can have access to be able to do whatever he said he was going to do. But you cannot remove the fact that Shaibu enjoyed, as a visitor to Edo government, I've never for once went to the governor's lodge, visited the governor's office, but I could remember I visited deputy governor's office severally, because of course I've got friends who had several relationships with him and then followed in several occasions, sat with him. And so when I talk about deputy governor the way I do, I talk with very close understanding of his personality. Not so very intelligent person, not quite very brilliant, but of course he's very open, very accessible, and quite, and that I'll say that, right? So at the end of the day, you will notice clearly that, again, yes, his interest in sport, as that Shaibu talking now, his interest in sports, his sacrifices, but it means that there was a government who took interest. It is in this government, and like I said, it's the difference between Obaseki and Oshomole's government in very many ways. While Oshomole spent so much money trying to create impression of improvement and there's a difference between growth and development. Of course, you should know. While growth are physical features that grows, development becomes emotional, psychological, right, spiritual, mental, capacity, competence. These things, quite functional systems that work. So while Comrade Adams Oshomole was busy painting schools, right, and putting red roof, he didn't touch the curriculum. But Obaseki went further to improve on the curriculum. So it was, again, in Oshomole's government, there was massive renovation of the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin. But at least in Obaseki's government, you did not just see renovation in the stadium, you saw real-time sport development, competitions. The darling team of the state grew from the barest minimum. Yes, I must agree that the deputy governor then had his own input, but it meant that there was money available because the deputy governor used the money. He had no relationship even with the sponsor. So this is something we should give credit to. Instead of us saying, well done to these guys, so to speak. So people are saying, Obaseki go and die, and Shaibu. We go there, at least other than 6 months and 1 year and 2 years and 4 years, when we on the outside, you'll see what we will use the outside. I see. You'll see. You know, go feel Brit. I thank God, say, now show me the fair bring and concept. You'll see what you go do. Mona the watch.